Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about why you should not buy a loader truck. Everybody keeps telling me, I've had 3 of them. I've had the smallest loader truck to the largest loader truck. I had a 1986 Ford F700 grapple truck, which was a single axle. It held like maybe 20 yards, a little over 20 yards. I had a GMC, 1988 GMC Kodiak. It's like a 38-yard loader truck, single axle. And then I had a big Mack, 1988 Mack diesel with dual axles. It was like a 50-yard loader truck. And I got deals on all of them, fixing them up myself, and ran them, and they're just a headache. Trust me, they're a big headache. The reason is loader trucks are very expensive. I ended up getting good deals on mine used, but if you buy one new, the Mack loader trucks, you can spend over close to $200,000 or more on a big Mack 50-yard loader truck. Today we're just going to talk about buying a used one, because most people don't have $250,000 to spend on a loader truck. If you have $250,000 to spend, put it in Tesla stock. Never have to work again. Anyway, this is basically my reasoning on paper why you should not buy a loader truck. First of all, say you get a really smoking deal on a really nice loader truck for like 50 grand, which is really a good deal for a loader truck that runs, operates, you can get in it and roll and work. So just say, for example, you get an awesome deal on a loader truck, it's like 50 grand. Most time you're going to get about 30 or 40 yard truck, probably a dual axle for about that price or smaller. If you go any bigger than that, like a 50 yarder or 60 yarder triple axle, you're going to be spending a lot more money, or it's not going to run. If you can get something for 50 grand or less, you're really getting a good deal that if it runs and operates and you can drive it that day, you don't have to put any money into it. So just say you got lucky, you got a really good deal. You bought a loader truck around 50 grand. Okay. The only way that you're going to be able to operate this thing and actually make money is use it yourself. I've got a buddy that bought mine, and he's able to actually make it work for him because he already has a crane, and he put the loader truck on the same insurance, minimal insurance. He's the only one that operates it. He's the only one that fixes. His neighbor fixes trucks, so he has the optimal situation. He has a place in his yard to park it, so he doesn't have to pay, storage fees. I didn't even add storage fees in here as well. So that would be another, 100 or 300 a month to store it. And then security, people breaking, vandalism, stuff like that. So say you have $50,000 tied up in your truck. Okay, if you can't drive it yourself, you're gonna have to hire a CDL operator, and this is a deal for 100 to 200 a day. So that's another $2,000 a month. If you don't have the money to pay cash for it, and you have to make payments, you're gonna be lucky to get a loan. It's probably gonna be over 4%, but I just acted like you have awesome credit. You got, perfect credit, 800 credit score. You're gonna get about, because a truck like this for 50 grand is gonna be old. It's gonna be 15, 20 years old. So you're going to get even a brand new piece of equipment, you're going to pay at least 4% interest on. It's probably going to be higher than that, but let's just say it's 4%. If you take 50,000 by 4%, the payments are $943.56 a month. So you might as well just say $1,000 because you're not going to get that great of interest rate. So you got $2,000 for your driver, $1,000 for your payments, and then your fuel cost. If you drive it every day, it's going to be a minimum of $50 a day. So that's like another $50 a day times 5 days a week. That's another $1,000 a month. So there's your fuel cost, $1,000, and then you got your insurance. If you get a really good deal on insurance, it's going to be at least $200 a month. And your maintenance cost, who knows? You got a used truck. It could be a tire, it could be a hydraulic line, it could be a transmission, it could be anything as little as a hydraulic line for $50 or as much as a transmission for 10 grand. So you have to have at least 10 grand in the bank or 10 grand that you can borrow to make sure if that thing breaks down, and you're going to have downtime. So basically, if you have downtime and you got work to do and you can't do it, you're going to lose all that money and you're going to have to dump money in it. So just say that nothing goes wrong and all this stuff is just, you're working, nothing breaks down, whatever. You know, you got a hydraulic line here, they're $50, hydraulic fluid $50, a couple $100. So you take all this, your payments, your driver, your fuel cost, your insurance, maintenance, then you got your tags. Those are going to be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a year. Your tires, hydraulic lines, whatever, all that stuff. I didn't really add in a lot of it, but just say for example, just what I mentioned is $4,350 a month. So basically, I get my loads picked for around $350, $400. If you divide that by what you pay, I would be able to pick up 12 and a half loads per month, which I don't even pick up that many. So that's like if you pick up basically, I mean, a couple times a week, you know, so, which I don't do, but you could pick up to 12 and a half loads. And then also too, your time, if you're driving the truck, how much time that takes to go to the dump, go back, go to the gas station, go get repairs. That's a lot of driving around. It's like a full-time job in itself. So if you all add that up and multiply by 12, you're going to be paying $52,000 a year just to basically have that truck. So once you buy this truck for $50,000, you're going to be paying over $50,000 a year to have it, at least for 4 or 5 years payments. Then when your payments break down, you won't have that $1,000 payment, but you're going to have more maintenance and repair, because the older the truck gets, that's going to eat up your savings because you have it paid off. So let's take that same $50,000 and invest it over here. So I have most of my money invested. I sold my truck and I took all that money and I put it right in Tesla stock. So say I sold that truck for $50,000 a year. The stock has been doing very well. It's probably going to get over 20% this year and probably over 20% next year. But let's just say it just gets barely 20%. So you take that $50,000 a year times 20%. That's $10,000 per year more. And the difference between the investment and what you're spending, when you invest the money, it compounds. So this money will actually be more because it's compounding. And when basically the stock goes up, it compounds on what it was. So if you take $50,000 and you get $10,000 a year, the next year it's $60,000. So you take that same $60,000 at 20%, the next year you get $12,000 return. And then you go on down the list. So you add that, $72,000 times 20%. The next year you get $14,000. Year number 3, year number 4 is $86,000. Basically times 20%, and then you get $17,000. By year number 5, you have $100,000, over $100,000, and if you get 20% of that, you make $20,000 a year, and it just keeps going on and on. So basically, by the time you get your truck paid off, in 4 or 5 years down the road, the truck is going to be depreciating. So if you spent $50,000 on this truck, it's probably not even going to be worth probably $20,000. So you've lost half of your money, what your initial investment in, plus you're paying $50,000 a year to keep the truck on the road. Whereas over here, that $50,000 turns into $20,000. Where here, the 4th or 5th year, you got $100,000. So you doubled your original investment, and the money's working for you. So every year, you're still spending almost $50,000 a year, working your tail off every day. This is bringing you in over $20,000 a year. So basically, your money's compounding for you, working for you. This is where you're working your tail off, and you're basically having to work every single day and keep putting money into that truck while it's depreciating, you know. And also too, all that money you're putting in, you could be reinvesting. And over here, like say for example, you still have to work, you still have to do tree work, and you still have to have your loads picked up. Over here, if you don't work, you don't pay. So say you don't have a load to pick up, you don't have to call anybody to pick the load up. Over here, those payments, that insurance, that overhead, that guy that wants to work, you're still putting out money. Even that truck's sitting there and nobody's working, you're still making your payments, you're still making your insurance payments. That guy needs to work, so he still wants to come in and probably do maintenance and repair on that truck, or he wants to work on that truck. You're gonna, no matter what, the payments do not stop. Even if you pay that truck off $50,000 cash, you still have to pay insurance, you still have to pay your plates, and you still have to go out, start that truck, do general maintenance on it, even when it's sitting. Because if you let it sit and never start it, and never go through it, never move it around, you're gonna have problems. So even if you don't have any work, you're still gonna be shelling out money and time. So that's another reason. Now, worst case scenario, say you have to have something to basically pick up your material. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna need a huge truck because you're gonna have smaller jobs. So what I recommend is either renting or buying a dump trailer. If you buy a dump trailer, you can get a dump trailer from anywhere from like $1,000 to maybe like $4 or $5 grand. I mean, the most expensive dump trailer you can buy, the biggest, baddest, dualiest, whatever, you can buy like $10,000 or $15,000 dump truck if you want to get the biggest, baddest boy you can find. But normally, you can get a good used dump truck for $4 or $5 grand, you know, and you can make payments on that or pay cash for it. It's no big deal. So payments on that is a lot cheaper. Also, too, when you have a dump trailer, you don't need a dump trailer insurance. You know, if you pay it off cash, you don't need any insurance at all. If you have a loan on it, the insurance is probably like less than $50 a month for insurance in case someone steals it. But other than that, you can park that dump trailer in the back, and dump trailer plates are very cheap. The trailer plates per year is less than $200. So basically, you don't have very little overhead. And the only thing you got to replace on a dump trailer, like once every couple years, is a battery, and then maybe a tire or two, like once a year. So tires are cheap. You get them on Amazon, ship them right to your door. I got a buddy who puts mine on for me. So another good thing to do, a lot of your jobs are smaller. And if you have like a little compact loader, even if you have to hand load it, put all the stuff in your dump trailer and find a place to dump it. Like at my shop, I have about, I don't know, 100 by 100 area. I just dump it right there, and I dump it like all week long, maybe all 2 weeks long. And I just once a month or once every like week or every 2 weeks, I get a huge truck to come in and pick it up. So instead of paying $350 or $400 or $500 every time, every single job, you just take the material back and you dump it in an area and you push it together and you stack it, and you have that truck come once a week. So you're gonna save a lot of money by just having that truck come once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month. We used to have a company come, because a lot of times they get slow, and they'll give you a deal. If you can pick up at the same spot, the same location every time. I was getting 50 yards picked up for $250. I was getting 500 yards picked up for $500. So it pays to just put all your material in one spot and let them pick it up once a month, or I was doing once a month, $500 for the whole month, and I would have like 10 or 15 jobs. So that's something to think about. If you have a small tree service and you cannot afford a loader truck to come at every job, because a lot of jobs are smaller, find an area or get permission to dump in one spot close to your shop and have that accumulate to where you can pick up a full load. And that's another thing. A lot of times if you have a loader truck come and pick up material, they don't usually fill the truck up. I don't care if they put a stick in there or they put 50 yards, it's still the same price. If you have a shop and you can accumulate material, you can make sure you get a full load every time. And when they come to pick up, even if it's completely full and they leave a little bit, that material can be saved for the next time to save material to go to the next one. And then if you have a big enough property, you get permission, you can have a burn pile and you can burn off a lot of the brush. And then another thing you can do is save the firewood and split up the firewood and sell the firewood, and that firewood can pay for the load. And there's a bunch of different ways. You can sell chips, you can sell firewood, you can sell smoker wood, and use that money, and it can like break even for the load. So that's another thing you can do. Anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews, just talking a little bit about tree service and how you can save money. And it's not always the best idea to buy a loader truck. So, And before you go out and buy a loader truck and hire somebody and spend all this money, write it down. Write down what your costs are. And basically, once you write it down on paper and you see, it's a lot more clear. A lot of people just run out and buy a loader truck and they think, man, we got a loader truck now, we're gonna make tons of money, and you know, all this stuff. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it'll cost you money. Anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. If you like this video, crush the like button and subscribe, and we will bring you more ways to run your tree service. Have a great day.